Hi there, I'm Andrew. Welcome to Urban Rider for another look at some of the world's finest riding gear. Today we're going to be checking out the new Revit Brentwood jeans, new for spring-summer 2019. So this is a brand new item in Revit's class-leading range of urban riding motorcycle jeans. And Revit do stuff at a cracking price point when you consider all the tech spec that goes into their stuff. Revit, more than many of the brands on the market, put a lot of their emphasis into their R&D and making sure their materials are the very best in the game. If you're very familiar with Revit jeans in general, the big introduction for this season is the introduction of a four-way stretch to the fabric, which, as the name suggests, means that it can stretch in a number of different directions. And this is really important because Revit have been trying to refine the tailoring of the fit of their jeans, going from slightly sort of ill-fitting in the very first iterations several seasons ago, through to being really nicely tailored more recently, but not necessarily very forgiving. And if you're in a more aggressive riding position on the bike, or if you're throwing it about, it's nice to have a degree of stretch to the fabric. It also allows you to get a more slim fit. As you can imagine, it means there's less resistance on those tight spots, so it's a really good thing, and the Brentwood jeans have a really wonderful tailoring to them. So from all angles they look fantastic. So what we have is a 12-ounce Cordura denim on the outer. Cordura is a very strong nylon and it's interwoven with the denim fabric to retain the look of a denim, of course, because the primary aim is that these look like your normal jeans, so you can use them all day on and off the bike and that they're comfortable. But then the Cordura gives it a higher degree of abrasion resistance, so if you need it in a slide, it's there as a primary barrier to that abrasion. Behind that you have Revit's Pwr Shield. This runs in a number of different areas, including the key impact zones, and this is their in-house aramid fibre, which gives you excellent levels of abrasion resistance and very high slide times compared to other materials. You also get included at the price of $179.99 Revit's award-winning SEESMART Level 1 armour in the knees, and that is removable, but you just don't need to bother. You wouldn't know it was in there even if you look for it. It's so slimline that it's basically unnoticeable, so you just keep it in whatever you happen to be doing. You can also upgrade in the hips if you want to go for the hip armour too. Revit also offer their SEESMART armour there, and that'll be an optional extra when you're buying the product. Here we have the jeans in the grey. There's also two different blue colours available. We're waiting for complete clarification on what the names of the two colours are, but ultimately there's a lighter and a darker blue, and they're both really nice. The fit with the Revit jeans is always pretty accurate. We did find that these were maybe a little bit generous, just a tiny bit, so it really depends who you ask in the office. A couple of guys say they fit true to size, but if you're really honest about your waist size, I think you might find that they're just a tad generous, maybe 1 inch or so. So I have a 33-inch waist, I think, in reality, but when it comes to jean sizing, that usually puts me somewhere in between a 32 to 34, depending on the jean in question. Revit do 32, 33, 34, they do each inch increments of the jeans, and I fit the pair of 32s without any problem at all. So to me that suggests just a tiny bit of generosity in the sizing. However, I don't think you go far wrong even if you went for your actual size. So they come in different leg lengths as well. Here we have a pair of 32s on the mannequin, and they're just great looking. So from all angles, so down the front you have this really simple, sort of unbroken styling to the jeans. Revit will be releasing their Moto jean, which is coming in very shortly, and that has a slightly more aggressive element to it, which looks more obviously and discernibly like a pair of motorcycle jeans does, whereas these are designed to really just look very understated, very much like your normal preferred pair of jeans would. So as you go around to the back, you can see you've got just kind of classic and simple styling. I like the slightly lowered stitching element to this rear seat section, and you've got triple stitching running through the pockets, on the seams, and pretty much throughout the majority of these trousers, so it's really high quality, very nicely put together. If you care to look down the bottom of the leg, you'll also see that on the turn up on the inside you've got a high-vis reflective strip, so there's a small degree of practicality there, though certainly don't want to make too much of a feature of it. You have 5 different pockets overall. In terms of the branding, it's really subtle. You just have it on the single button on the front and on the little leather patch on the belt loop. You do have the zipper as well down the middle, which is nice. I'm not a fan of buttons, I do prefer a zipper, and I'm sure a lot of you would feel the same way. And these are in stock right now. They've just landed today, and we think that they're going to be a really popular jean for this riding season. If you've got any questions about the jeans, anything we may have missed, as always, leave it in the section below. And stay tuned for more video reviews of the world's finest riding gear, including more jeans and other bits of gear from the new Revit Spring Summer 19 lineup. Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you again soon. Goodbye.